DynamicCardStore.com to get the cards. Icons, legends aiming at the stars. Hursty at checkout to save your points. Now your bank account won't be staying empty. DynamicCardStore.com. Use code Hursty. Go on.
Hey there guys, welcome back to Hursty Games and welcome to a video today where I'm going to talk to you about this new promo, the What If promo, give you my thoughts on cards that I think are worth it, cards that I think aren't worth it, and maybe what to expect with some of these card pricings and where I think they're going to head. So we're going to talk about it very quickly. I'll also briefly explain the promo if people don't understand how it works. I'll go through that as well, but without further ado, let's get into these cards. So these cards are going to get +2 upgrades if their teams succeed in one of these two things. So if there is a goalkeeper or a defender, and in the first set 11 we didn't actually get a goalkeeper, so my assumption is we'll probably get a goalkeeper at some point in team 2 because this is team 1 that we're going to be talking about today. But if they manage to get 1 clean sheet in the next 5 domestic games, then they'll get themselves a +2 upgrade. Now if they're a midfielder or an attacker, then their team needs to score a total of 6 goals in their next 5 domestic games. So defenders need to keep at least a clean sheet, and goalkeepers, as when we see them, will be the same ruling. And midfielders and attackers need to score 6 goals in the next 5 domestic games. But here you can see are the 11 packable players right now. We'll talk about the Rafinha and we'll talk about the Caputo at a later point. But these are the 11 players. It doesn't show their what-if backgrounds. I'm afraid Footbin hasn't got those updated yet. But we'll start off just going from the one at the back to the one at the top. So we'll start off by looking at Yuri. Yuri, I think, is a decent enough looking card. 3-star, 3-star on a left back. Now, as a defender, it's whether these guys will keep a clean sheet. In their last 5 games, I think they have kept a clean sheet. I don't know who their next 5 games are up against, so the way I would benefit this or sort of work this one out is have a look and see who their next games are against and see what the goal scoring kind of records are for those kind of teams, because realistically they don't need to be scoring a lot, they just need to not be conceding. But I think this card looks pretty decent. We've got a lot of very good left backs this year, and I think the Spanish League has got a couple of okay left backs, but unless you're going to be rocking a Mendy, or if you want to get a strong link to a Spanish centre back that isn't someone like Ramos who gets the link to Mendy anyway, then this is a pretty good card to pick up. Honestly, I would say looking at his in-games, I think realistically you're probably just going to go with a shadow, just boost that defending up there, and he's got the pace already. But it looks a good card, the Yuri. I think he is a decent enough card, and I think with these kind of prices I would honestly say he's probably worth the money you'd be paying for him. Next we'll go with Babu. Now Babu, we've been waiting for another good like Bundesliga right back since the Mukiele card. Now this card definitely ticks that box, however it's very expensive. So what I would say to this card is if you didn't do Mukiele and you need a Bundesliga right back, and 500 or 400k is sort of, you know, somewhat okay for you to consider saving up towards, then it's worth considering this card, because again, realistically, I think this guy's an absolute beast. I would just go with a Sentinel, just boost that defending, boost that physicality. You're going to be absolutely laughing just for the sake of seeing it. You can see there, look, 92 defending, 91 physicality, and 94 pace, which is more than enough. 3-star, 3-star as well. I would say this card looks pretty good. But again, the thing worth bearing in mind with Babu is he is expensive. 500k is a lot of money for a fullback, and again, I would only consider getting him if you can justify the spend and you can't get somebody else in there that's got a similar looking card but is going to be cheaper than Babu. Also, if he goes up to an 87, he's going to be ridiculous. Up next, the only player of these that we've actually packed, and that is Chris Smalling. Now Smalling looks an absolute beast. This guy looks incredible. I would all day, every day be throwing a shadow straight onto that card. Over 90 pace on a card that just looks incredible. And his base card as well this year is phenomenal. I used his 82 on the Ezit. No, it was the Beckham's boys we used him on. Unfair. It might have been Ezit Glory. We used him on a series and he was ridiculously good. So I highly recommend this card. Very expensive. It's only going to get more expensive if they look good for a +2. But honestly, I would say if it doesn't look like they're going to get a clean sheet, or maybe a game or two's gone by and they've conceded, they haven't kept the clean sheet, I think he'll drop, and I think he's definitely worth picking up. As an 88, he's already going to be insane. As a 90, he'll be even better. But this card, for me, is one of the best cards in this promo. He looks unbelievable. Next, we have one of the cheapest cards in the promo, and that is Marcelo. Now, this card here looks pretty darn decent, 110-ish K. Again, don't know the kind of games that are coming up against or what they've got coming soon, but again, I think realistically, this guy does look good, got some good links. Being Brazilian, you can link him into some of the better keepers in the game, like I think, for example, Edison, and you can play along some decent people. He's managed to get a couple of informs, so my sort of assumption is that they're obviously playing okay enough to be getting a couple of clean sheets. I know he's been scoring a fair few. I think at one point he was their top goal scorer. Don't quote me on that, though. But I would realistically say, again, this card looks a very, very good card, and I would probably say worth 100k. I think this guy will be a very good card, and again, an upgrade, and he's going to be disgustingly good. On to another very cheap card in this promo, and that is the Lise, I'm going to say his name wrong, Lise Melu. I tried. Give me some credit for trying. This guy, I think, looks pretty good. I can understand why he's one of the slightly cheaper cards, but I would honestly say, again, with a Shadow card, he becomes Hullet Gang, and I think he looks very good for 100k. I don't think he looks that bad. Again, League Un players are quite a lot of easy-ish links, but with a lot of good French cards coming out recently, a lot of good SBCs, objective cards, all of these kind of things. So Fofana, for example, this could be a really good and easy link for you into a French league team with some French players from other teams or other leagues and stuff. But realistically, I think this guy for 100-ish-k looks very, very good. And again, if they manage to get those 6 goals, I don't know what their scoring record is right now. Might be worth looking that one up before you consider doing him. I would say that this guy looks a pretty darn good bargain. Now this here, this is the card. This is the one that I want, and I am probably going to consider saving up for this guy. I've at the moment got just under 1 million coins. I'm going to be trying to trade up, and I'm going to try and pick up this Ngolo Kante. He's already dropped about 200k today. He was at about 2.8, 2.85 sort of mil early on, sort of about 7 o'clock. But I think he's going to be expensive. Realistically, again, Chelsea right now, I think they've got a tough couple of games coming up, so 6 goals is potentially going to be a bit of an ask from them. However, Chelsea have got goal scorers on that side, and Chelsea recently have been picking up some pretty darn impressive results. Even if you just look at the Atletico Madrid result, that in itself was a very good result. Only a 1-0, so not many goals scored, but I do think he's going to do good, and regardless, even if he's a 91, this card is going to be phenomenal. So I want to try and get this card. Somehow I've got to work out to get 1.5 million in as quick as possible, because if they get a clean sheet tomorrow, I am absolutely shafted, or today when this is going out. I don't know when they're playing. But this card for me, very expensive, but I think this could be one of the best CDMs in the game. If I partner him with Timothy Kimmich, I am going to be absolutely laughing. But regardless, we'll carry on with these guys. So let's have a look at Odegaard. Odegaard here for me, again, Arsenal team that, okay, might be conceding a fair few, but are scoring goals at the moment. So I think an upgrade is fairly likely for this one. And even if they're conceding a lot, it doesn't really matter because it doesn't affect this card at all. I think this card looks very, very good. I think he's 4-star, 4-star, 3-star, sorry, 5-star, 3-star. I can't talk. 5-star skills, 3-star weak foot. 3-star weak foot is a little bit of a stinker, but realistically, he's already a 90 rated cam in regards to his actual in-game stats because his passing and dribbling is fantastic. Throw a Hunter card on that, you're absolutely laughing. Becomes a 92, which will mean he'll probably become a 94 if he does get the +2, which I think he will. So I would say that this is a very, very worthwhile card. And again, realistically, if you're running a Prem team and you're short of a cam, I think Odegaard could be your guy. And 600k, I think, is maybe just about justified, especially when you look at the Hunter card. I think that does help it quite a bit. We'll go to Gomez next at the central cam position, 90 rated. If this guy goes to a 92, I think this price is probably fairly justified. Get some decent links to some players. The one thing I'd say about this card is I have found every time I've used him, he gets shrugged off the ball so much, and that is because he's got very low strength. However, if you find you've had a good experience with Gomez, like I've used this card in a draft and he was okay, but he just got shrugged off the ball so much for me. I think this guy could be very, very good. I really do think this guy could really shock a few people with how good he's going to be. For me, I do think the 1 mil is a slightly expensive thing, but I think I'm possibly looking at that on a point of view where he doesn't suit my team, and maybe I'm letting that come into account. With a dead on him, I think it'd be insane. With a 92 rated card, absolutely disgusting. But we're going to look at Sanchez now, who I think is probably one of the more popular cards, and that's because he does look pretty darn good as well. I'm actually slightly surprised that he is roughly the same price as Gomez. For me personally, I think this card would have been a bit more expensive. Maybe it's because of the pace, maybe that's part of it, but again, if he gets a 92, and again, Dortmund are scoring for fun, so I think this price is probably, with people bearing in mind he's going to get a +2 in here, because I don't see them not scoring 6 goals in 5 domestic games. Although they've been a little bit hit and miss, even when they're missing, they're still scoring goals. So I would say this card here is going to be an absolute unit. Again, 3-star weak foot for me is a bit of a shame, but realistically, look at this card. Is outrageous. 93 rated before you even get the +2. So this is going to be a very good, very meta end game right mid, if you ask my opinion about it. Very good. The price is probably going to be worth it as well. We'll look at the 2 strikers to round this one up here. I've got Pereira. Here's actually a left mid. I say strikers because that's where he's positioned there. But 150k. I think is a bit cheap. I'm not going to lie to you. I think this guy looks very, very good. I really do like the look of this card. He's got good strength, decent enough stamina. I think his dribbling looks fantastic. Agility and balance is decent too. Decentish pace, but you probably would bump it just a little bit. I'd maybe suggest a Hawk a little bit if you want to just get the physicality up a tad. but I don't really think he needs it, so I probably just would go with that Hunter card, get that 99 pace, make him as quick as possible, and then give him the shooting boost. And realistically, I think this guy looks very good. I can't lie to you. And again, if you're not too fussed about 84 shooting, if you think that's enough, probably just go with the Catalyst, 95 passing instead. Either way, he looks pretty good, and either way, I think this card will be a beast. And again, if he goes to an 89, you will be absolutely laughing, and then that will mean you probably won't need the Hunter because he'll be on 92 pace instead of 90. So for this price, I think he's a little bit of a steal. If you think about it, similar-ish to that El Shaarawy. So if you've already got El Shaarawy, maybe you don't need him, but that's your choice entirely. And the final player on these is going to be the Jovic here. As you can see, 200-ish K. And again, when you partner him with that Andre Silva, that little soft link, decent, 4-star, 5-star, which again for me just ticks boxes. I just think that looks really good. A Hunter card on him, he's going to be absolutely nuts. I think Frankfurt are doing fairly well in regards to goal scoring, which is again what you need to focus on for this. But again, I don't know their next 5 games, so take that into account if you're deciding whether to do him or not. But I think this guy looks good. Realistically, I think it's if he fit my team, I would probably get this card done. I won't lie to you. Okay, so we'll have a look at the 2 extra players as well. You've got this Caputo, which you can get through objectives. So this is a free card. Realistically, I think this guy looks kind of cool. I won't lie to you. I'm just going to double check and see how long he's got on him because I actually don't remember off the top of my head. So apologies for that. I'd assume it's between 5 and 10 days. It's 6 days, 17 hours at the time of recording this. So that means it's about 6 days roughly from the time you're seeing this. But I think Caputo looks decent. I won't lie to you. I think, again, for a free card, not too bad. You're looking at a 3-star, 4-star. That's the only stinker for me, really, 3 stars. But again, for a free card, it's not the end of the world. I think this guy does look pretty cool. I would say the later you wait to do it, the cheaper you'll find it to buy the team. So, if you're needing to buy the bronze or silver players, because I don't think you're allowed golds in the game mode that you have to play, then obviously it's going to cost you a little bit. But realistically, a very good card, and the fact you get it for free just makes it even better. But we'll look at the Rafinha lastly. Now, this for me, yes, it's an expensive SBC, 400k across pretty much all of the consoles. The thing to bear in mind here is this is pretty much, in my opinion, a guaranteed 89 because Leeds score goals. They could have 2 games out of the next 5 where they don't score anything, and I would still say they're going to get more than 6 in those remaining 3. They're a team that just score, and they score a lot. So I would say you're looking at what is probably going to be an 89 rated card, and I would say you probably don't need to bother about the pace. I'd put something like a Deadeye on him or a Sniper or something like that, but this card I think is going to be fantastic. Again, 4-star, the 3-star skill, weak foot again, a little bit of an iffy for me, but on a left foot, somebody who's left-footed on that right-hand side, going to be cutting in, taking those shots, I don't think it matters that much if you're going to be doing that. So realistically for me, this Rafinha is probably, if he's going to go into your team, I would say it's worth it. That is the end of this little review here. I have to say, I'm actually relatively happy with this promo so far. I think there's plenty of good things to see from it. I have managed to pack one, so I can't fully comment on the pack weight of it and, oh, is it good, is it bad? I'm not entirely sure. However, I am very happy with the promo so far. I think there's a lot more to come from it as well. To get an objective player and an SBC player on the first day plus a team of 11 is good. I'd expect to get the sort of repeatable packs on the Sunday, so tomorrow at the time of you seeing this, because that tends to be when the packs and stuff are brought out for the repeatable stuff. So expect Sunday 6 PM to be where we get some repeatable packs. But for me, I think it's a good start to the promo. Hopefully more of this to come. But that's it for this video. Hopefully this has been vaguely helpful. If you have any questions down below, then please do not hesitate to ask. Of course, if you're new here, a sub is greatly appreciated. And if you turn notifications on, you'll be told anytime that we upload a video, or indeed go live with a live stream. By the time you're seeing this, tomorrow would be another video at roughly midday, and the next stream would be Monday morning. But that's it from me, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did. But that's it. Thanks for watching. I've been Tom. You guys have been awesome. And I'll see you. Look after yourselves. And of course, wash those hands.
What? Nah, his name is Hursty. Slap bald head, yeah, it'll probably hurt me. Bang top bins, it'll probably hurt you. Ginger, streamer, platform, YouTube. Drop a name in the chat, we'll say hello. Entertain, yeah, you already know. Capital H, yeah, I'm a read it slow. Hursty games, yeah, you already know. Hursty.